Riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick a song or an album, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you whether or not we hate it, and of course, why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, David Bowie's 1967 self-titled album to my David Bowie's 1969 self-titled album, Timothy Richardson. David Bowie's self-titled 1967 album, how are you doing?
I'm a little confused by your intro, to be honest, this week, Garrett.
You won't be.
Oh, I don't know what that... Now, I'm more confused now. I don't know what that means. I don't really want to know what that means, Garrett. I decided to take the feedback I received from you and a large portion of our audience after last week's now classic episode on Justin Timberlake's album, whatever that was, Man of the Woods. I am going to tone it down a bit this week. Apparently, nobody liked what I was doing. I was very drunk, in my defense.
Yeah, and adamant that you weren't, at least at the time.
Yeah, well, I can now admit, having sobered up, took a day or two, I was very drunk.
Weird how that works, but glad you're owning it. We can move forward. Timmy, what song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the 1995 song Doin' It by Ladies Love Cool James featuring LaShawn.
And after an entire week with the very sexy LaShawn and Ladies Love Cool James.
Also pretty sexy.
Sure, I guess. Wasn't expecting that. Not sure why I wasn't. Anyway, Tim, do you hate this song?
No, but it does make me incredibly uncomfortable. Admittedly, just a little bit aroused. I don't know if we played the After Dark theme as the intro, but if not, well, we should have. This is After Dark. This thing is dripping, head to toe wet with After Dark energy. This thing is sticky from being so incredibly After Dark. And if we did not play the After Dark theme, I fear that some of our younger listeners are not going to know that they should not be listening to this.
Welcome to Sploosh Town.
Fair enough. Garrett, do you hate this song?
No. This song's great.
Oh, all right. So you're super aroused.
I wouldn't say super, but we'll get into it. You did. In fact. Anyway, moving past it, you don't hate it. I don't hate it. We agree it's pretty sexy. Do you think you might get there, Tim?
I don't know. Maybe. It depends the voice with which you read some of these lyrics.
It's going to be erotic.
Yeah. So no,
ladies,
I don't
get
think
ready.
So.
It's going to be erotic.
It is.
Erotic. Sorry. I wasn't sure you heard me. All right, enough of this bullshit. Tim, you don't hate it. I don't hate it. Before we can talk about why that is and how great it is, in fact, to listen to a lot, we have to understand a little bit about the history. And I'm curious, what is your history as a man who grew up outside of the country almost entirely with Mr. LL Cool J? Because he's pretty popular in the 90s.
Yeah. I have basically no history with this song or really this guy. Like, I wasn't aware of this song. The vast majority of this guy's musical output, or at least the percentage of it that matters. You're correct. I was firmly ensconced in the House of Saud. I couldn't have cared less. I still don't really care about the majority of it. I know I've heard some of his stuff on like soundtracks. He's probably on that Space Jam soundtrack. I had that. But, some other basketball movies, presumably. In the mid-90s, I was pretty into basketball. So, probably heard him from that.
Strange history.
I also like baseball cards, but that seems entirely unrelated.
I think it all was. Just for the record.
So my point is, this is my first time with this song. I do think there is some sitcom or something. It might be Parks and Recreation. In my mind, it's Amy Poehler, but I don't think that's right. But I have a memory of some female comedian singing that doing it, doing it.
Oh, that was a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what that thing was?
I do not.
Okay,
but that's
it
a different
is a
song
thing.
entirely.
No, I understand. But in my head, that's what this was. And I learned this week that it's not.
Doesn't matter. What are we doing?
Garrett, are you familiar with this song? Okay, let me ask this. 1995, okay? You've got a lady who has no interest in you over at your house because she feels bad because you got her a very expensive watch. She's confused as to why you bought so much face paint. Do you put this song on?
Okay, let's back up. Okay, so this came out in 95, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, 95, I'm 12, so I don't have a house.
Your parents had a house. I mean,
houseboat.
really? I feel like I've missed a significant part of your life in the way I'm picturing your childhood. So you're journaling in this bloody journal, writing songs or poetry. I don't know what it is, but it's on a boat. You're on a... Interesting. We're going to talk more about this when we stop this episode.
We're definitely not.
I'm not going to be able to talk about anything else.
So listen, as a 12-year-old, did I listen to this song? 100%. Did I listen to it to the point where I sung along a lot? Yes. Did it disturb my father? You know it did. Full admission, I thought the lyrics were doing it and doing it and doing it right, not well. So,
a little Mandela effect there.
I was probably just a stupid little boy.
You were that.
I've got to go, Marilyn. There's a stupid little boy at the door. That's weird. Anyway, so this was on the radio a lot. It was very popular. It's a catchy song. I had absolutely... no, I knew it was erotic, but I'm not sure even at 12 I was fully down with the mechanics of intercourse, so I probably wasn't super sure what this song was about, although when we get to the what's this song about section... there might be a reason I was confused. Anyway, I heard the shit out of this song. I've heard it 1,000 times. I like this song, probably just because it was on when I was 12 a bunch. I don't know if it's objectively good.
This with your old boners.
Gross. I'm bleeping no less than 2 of those words. And one of them won't be boners. I think that's the right call. All right, so that's my history, that's your history, and you're gross. Before we can get into the song itself, we need to understand a little bit about the man who made it and the woman who featured on it. We're probably not going to talk about her. Anyway, Tim, take me on a journey. Help me understand, and I guess anyone who's listening, if you're out there, who is LL Cool J, and how did Doing It Right come to be?
Well, Garrett, LL Cool J, a.k.a. Ladies Love C. James, a.k.a. James Todd Smith, a.k.a. Limited Liability CJ, a.k.a. Low Latency Cool J, a.k.a. Low Libido Cool J. I think that last one is used ironically, like you might nickname a large friend Tiny kind of thing.
Right. Like, looking at me, you couldn't even imagine me not having a wild sex drive.
Right. Yes, that's why you're fuckboy Gary. No, that's why...
Can we not be that? That doesn't sound like it conveys what I want it to.
Anyway, Garrett, LL was born in 1968 to Barbadians living in Bayshore, Long Island, Big Apple, USA. He had a terrible childhood, Garrett. His dad allegedly shot his mom and grandfather, I don't know on which side, but his grandfather was a jazz saxophonist. He allegedly didn't shoot them fatally, but almost, and LL found them all shot up when he was 4 years old.
Good Lord.
Then they moved to his grandparents' house.
Hold on, just a brief pause.
It's Dexter. He's Dexter, is my point.
Well, no, but also he found them, and he's 4.
Yeah, I'm assuming he was like
crawling across cigarettes or
probably getting something from the fridge, getting himself one of those beers, one of those 1972 beers.
It implies that the murderer, his father, didn't know he was. Sure, you're right. Attempted murder. My bad. Just like didn't know he was home, maybe.
Quite possibly.
Or possibly LL had stepped out for something and came back at 4 and was like, "Hey, Mom, I'm back." Oh no.
Yeah.
God. That's terrible.
They then moved to his grandparents' house. I don't know if it's the same grandfather. I found this very confusing. In Queens, where he was abused by his mom's boyfriend, who is allegedly named Roscoe. He began rapping at 10.
Were you pausing for jokes? There's no jokes, though.
I don't know.
Poor man.
For some feedback. I don't know.
Great anecdote about sexual abuse, Tim.
I didn't say it was sexual. You put that on it.
You said
abuse.
Okay, you're right.
Abuse.
Okay, yeah, he could have just been hitting him.
Yeah. Hopefully, he was just being beaten by Roscoe. Jesus.
God, this is grim. Can we turn it around?
Maybe. He began rapping at 10, started making demos at his grandparents' house in 1984. before. His grandfather bought him amps and turntables and such. His mom bought him a drum machine. He then reconciled with his father, aka his mother and grandfather's attempted murderer, who gave him advice on the music business. It is unclear if he knew anything about the music business. Or really any subject except almost killing 2 individuals. That's really the only thing I know about him.
Yikes.
He began sending a bunch of demos to a bunch of record companies in the Big Apple, including the newly founded Def Jam. LL was calling himself J-Ski at this time, but he didn't want to associate himself with anything snow-related because it was the 80s, and that could only be a reference to cocaine, see Curtis Blow, etc. So a guy named Mikey D gave him the nickname Ladies Love Cool James, which significantly longer than his actual name, so it was shortened to LL Cool J, which is stupid. Now, this definitely has the ring of giving yourself a nickname and paying a guy to say it for the first time so that it sounds like he came up with it. Mike D, this is bullshit. Come forward, sir.
Yeah. God, it is significantly longer than his name.
Yeah. Even the shortened version, LL Cool J or James.
Yeah. Cool J.
Or LL.
LL. Yeah. I guess LL makes very little sense.
Ladies love?
Yeah. What's your nickname, Ladies Love?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, again, like, Garrett, you are a master of nicknames. The only way you would choose Ladies Love as part of that nickname is if that person is irrefutably disgusting to women. Like, I could see you giving Harvey Weinstein the name LLH-Dub or something like that. It only works if it's ironic, is my point.
Yeah, I do love a good ironic nickname.
Yeah, you have to have jowls, like stinky jowls that food and like mustard get stuck in.
Good grief. That's horrible.
I know, but it's not as horrible as what he was up to.
That's always going to be true.
Yes. LL was signed to Def Jam and released his first single in 1984, I think. That can't be right.
Sounds right. He's very old.
Yeah, maybe. He also did his first concert at Manhattan Center High School. He said that they pushed the lunchroom tables together for them to play. Girls were screaming, asking for his autograph, and right there and there, he said, "This is what I want to do," which is apparently arouse children with music, and that's gross.
Well, he was a child too, right?
He was, 84. He was born in 68. Yeah, he's 16, 17, somewhere in there probably.
Okay, you can cut him a break a little
Well,
bit.
sure. But I assume he was playing this song. Granted, he didn't release it until much later.
A decade later.
You have to refine it, you know? He released his debut album, Radio, in the year that will historically become most notable as my birth year, 1985. That would go on to sell more than 1 million copies in the US. It would take a couple years, but it eventually would. And he was one of the early hip-hoppery successes along with Run DMC and the Beastie Boys, and one of the things that really made that Rick Rubin fella's career early on. He was the first hip-hopist on American Bandstand and released his second album, Bigger and Deffer, in 87, which went on to sell more than 2 million copies in the US alone. He released Walking with a Panther in 89, Mama Said Knocked You Out in 1990, and then, Garrett, he got into acting. He was in The Hard Way, a buddy cop comedy featuring the original odd couple Michael J. Fox and James Woods as they pursue a serial killer played by Stephen Lang, known as the Party Crasher around the Big Apple. Garrett, the Party Crasher is a pretty great name for a serial killer.
It is, especially if you murder at a party you were not invited to.
Yes, the entire party, ideally.
Well,
or not inviting
that's
you.
just not logistically possible.
If you got some sort of bomb, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I was thinking small. It's whenever I think serial killer, instantly I'm thinking knife, and that's racist.
Is it racist?
I think so. Anyway,
against knives.
Thank you. I want to just state for the record, that's my least favorite Michael J. Fox movie, hands down. Including the one that makes me cry because it's about his real life.
Yeah, that's a great movie, though.
So it's a very good movie.
Yeah.
But it does make me cry. Doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah. LL was also in the excellent film Toys with Robin Williams about the military-industrial complex and toy manufacturing.
That movie is incomprehensible.
He was also the main lead, I think, in the sitcom In the House on NBC from 1995 to 99.
Robin Williams and LL Cool J play non-adoptive brothers.
Yes.
Their sister's a robot.
Well, I mean, I think at that point.
Yeah, I guess that's the least weird part.
Yeah. He was also in the sitcom In the House on NBC from 95 to 99, where he plays an ex-Raiders running back. Taste the peacock.
Unnecessary. Unearned. taste it.
I'm getting paid for that. We're getting paid for that. NBC.
That's untrue.
He released the album 14 Shots to the Dome in 93, Mr. Smith in 95, the latter of which featured the Song of the Week. He also had a cover of a Chaka Khan song on the Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack. He released Phenomenon.
I owned
that. Okay. You still do probably own that.
I do.
Yes. He released Phenomenon in 1997. In 1998, he was in Halloween H2O. In 99, he was in Deep Blue Sea and Ollie Stone's Any Given Sunday. In 2000, he released the album Goat, which was his first #1 on the US Billboard 200, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
In 2002, released his 9th studio album, 10, produced partially by the Neptunes. He then released his 10th album, The Definition, in 2004. 2005, he released Todd Smith. 2008, he released Exit 13. In 2009, Garrett, he released a song about, not for, but about the NCIS show he was on, saying, "The song is a musical interpretation of what I felt after meeting with NCIS agents, experienced Marines and Navy SEALs. It represents the collective energy in the room. I was so inspired I wrote the song on set." He was on that show for like 15 years, I think. I'm not sure. I was not allowed to watch military-related shows as a child or young adult.
Got too excited.
I got too excited. Garrett, it's the energy in the room, right?
So just to make sure I'm following along, he said it's not about the show he was on for like a decade. It's about the real NCIS.
Partially. It's about the show. My point is that it wasn't for the show, right? Like,
I see. Right. No one asked him to do that.
Yes.
Bon Jovi.
Right, yes.
What did he do? He wrote some soundtrack that everyone was like, nobody wanted this. Nobody wants this.
Somebody we did. We shredded and burned it. Who knows? In 2013, he released the album Authentic featuring Eddie Van Halen, and then did that terrible Brad Paisley song, Accidental Racist. See our now classic Prepisode number 24 from March 2020. He also then announced he is super into Jesus. He reads the Bible constantly. He stays in the Word constantly. And I don't know how that relates to the theme of this song, but it's not that sexy. The Jesus, the song is my point. There's a disconnect between the sexiness of his Jesus and this. Now, I guess Jesus is sexy. Between the sexiness of his worship of Jesus and the sexiness that is this song.
I don't like this.
Surely you can agree.
I surely cannot. I surely cannot.
You need that power in your life, the wisdom and discernment. You need that rain on all the seeds that are inside of you and constantly nurture that potential that God placed inside you by watering it with that word and constantly getting that in you. You know what? I take it back. His statement on how into Jesus he was is actually pretty sexy.
God, that was a quote?
Part of one.
I thought that was just you being gross.
No. This is what LL said.
God, wow. Is this almost done?
Yeah. In 2023, he founded a men's jewelry line with his wife called Majesty. You'll notice I'm wearing several pieces of it currently.
That's what that is. Okay. I was very confused.
He released his, up to this point, final album, The Force, which sold, according to Wikipedia, 16,000 copies. He has way more acting credits than he does musical credits, and a lot of those shows apparently show his feet. Now, I know that because when I typed in LL Cool J Wiki, as I do to start out my research every week, one of the suggestions was LL Cool J Wiki feet. And he apparently has a wide following on the internet. According to men.wikifeet.com, this guy got good feet.
Horrible. Burn your laptop. Jesus Christ.
On that note, Garrett, a wiki feet to you.
And the deepest bluest, my hat is like a shark's fin to you.
I do not understand this reference.
From Deep Blue Sea?
I don't understand that reference.
It's his hit single. Plays over the credits. Remember, he's got
we
that
can watch
bird.
It if you want.
I saw it recently. It's one of my faves. I love when it eats Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay, well, here's what I propose. Deep Blue Sea, In Time, 1998 Godzilla for our trifecta tonight. And we can
so many movies.
Well, here. We can do that instead of watching In Time and then Godzilla 1998 twice.
Jesus Christ. I mean, sure, in that Faustian bargain, of course I'm going to take the new movie. I just worry that now we're going to watch that every night as well. It used to just be Godzilla, and I thought I hated it, but there was a comfort in knowing it would end soon.
Well, it still will end fairly soon.
Not soon enough. Alrighty. Great history, Tim. That is to say, it's over. That brings us to the song itself. Before we get into all the tawdry details, let's give everyone a taste That is to say, let's play a bit in case you're somewhere you haven't had an opportunity to hear it. But listen, if you're not operating a motor vehicle and you have access to a screen, watch the music video.
Hard disagree. Unless you saw some sort of a different music video, I was disappointed.
Sure. I'm just saying, if you're going to catch up on the song, the music video is probably worth it.
Okay.
It's not one of the best.
Let's
no
play
one's saying
that song.
Matter of fact, I can't wait for your candy rain.
So what you saying? I get my swerve on, bring it live, make
All
it
right.
Yeah, it's a sexy song, Garrett. This is, I did the math this week, 83% moaning.
There's so much moaning, and it's mostly not LL, so I'm okay with it.
It's 17% LL.
Yeah, those parts aren't great.
He is a moaner. He's not quiet. He's not a quiet man. He's
Not a quiet lover. Although there's got to be, there's a fine line, right, though? You don't want to be in a bed with some creepos making no noises. Oh, that'd be terrifying. Anyway, Tim, obviously, and listener, if you're not familiar with the song, it's called Doing It Right. So let's just cut to the chase. It is called Doing It, sorry. I titled it Doing It Right. Anyway, it's about banging.
Yeah.
However, I'm curious, I'm not asking you to lay it all out for me, but I am curious, were you able to get a more discerning read on things, or is it largely just kind of words on the page?
It's a lot of words on the page, but I mean, there are some phrases that he has in here that I found befuddling.
Questionable?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to feed into my theory. Good. We're largely on the same page then, and it's unfortunately becoming a bit cliche on our show, but I have a theory, and I think it's mostly backed up until the latter third of the song, which, I gotta say, before we talk about any of the content, oh my god, there's so many words in this song.
Yeah, it's excessive. And the weird thing is, a ton of this is just sampled from other stuff, right? The hook is from LaShawn's, she's got a different band that has a song called Wild Thang, and the hook's just from that. There's a shit ton of stuff from the crowd noises sampled, and the beat for this, it was originally meant for the notorious Big, but he didn't use it and then was murdered, which is a coincidence, I suspect, but...
Yeah, big crescendo there for no reason. Also, Notorious Big is accurate. That's hilarious.
He's a big man.
Yeah, that's not why they... Okay. Anyway, accurate. So, it's sexy. Is it R&B? Is that what we're calling it? Is it
It is.
hip-hop?
It's not really hip-hop. It's not really rap. It is a more of an R&B kind of thing. He's kind of singing at points, you know?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's a whispery song. He kind of does an almost Billie Eilish. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll take it back. Billie Eilish might be kind of doing a little LL doing it.
That is a crazy comparison.
No, but my point is, he kind of whisper sings a little bit of it. It's a very breathy...
bad guy.
Yeah,
that kind of
basically
deal.
that. Yeah, pretty much. I think, not sure if you're singing from this or from that.
That's the Billie Eilish song.
Yeah.
I'm the bad guy. I don't know. That's all I remember. Anyways, so yeah, things are getting sexy. They're erotic. Musically, I got no problem with this song.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, this is a mid-90s very standard rap or R&B kind of beat, and it's fine. It's produced in a way that really drives home the sexiness.
I mean, I got to imagine this was made to fuck to.
Oh, of course it was.
And, you know,
I don't want to give away too much of the YouTube comments, but people are fucking to this day. Somebody right now is inside of another person, and this song is playing right now. And it doesn't matter when we're saying this, when you're listening to it, for all of eternity. This episode will be on the internet until 2027, when, you know.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, but point being, from now until then, it's going to be a true statement.
If anyone's curious about more details of what's going to happen in 2027, begin listening to my new side podcast, Jurassic Park ? When?
Yes.
They're going to eat us eventually, Tim. Anyway, before the dinosaur uprising, let's get into the song. We've played a bit. We've talked about the music. We said it's well produced. Much more of a duet than I remembered.
Yeah, much more than I was expecting, yeah.
Very much both of them interlaced. It might even get slightly confusing as we read it to our listeners. Hopefully not. It's about banging.
You know what? One thing we could do, you could breathily read the LL part to me, and I could breathily read the LaShawn part to you.
Only if you commit.
I'll
Also, we're
gonna.
probably going to get confused. Anyway.
I'm going to call you Big Daddy and scream your name. Nope, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it, Garrett. I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's more for me to read. Anyway, what else need be said then, Tim?
I think we should get into these sexy lyrics.
Alrighty. Begins with an intro by Mr. LL. He says, yeah, check it out, baby. Make it hot. Then we drop it. Oh, yeah. Uptown. You know how we do it. Yeah, you know. Make it hot.
Now, for those of you who have not found the feed, for some reason, Garrett has unbuttoned his shirt. I don't know why.
I made it hot.
Okay, he's getting into the role. This makes me very uncomfortable.
Just stay on your side of the fucking table and we don't got a problem. That includes feet. Creep. You're getting weird, dude. It's all jokes, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right. Anyway, back to the song. Song begins in earnest. It's our first time together, and I'm feeling kind of horny. I'll start again.
It makes me. It's just too upfront, right? There's no
It's
metaphor
way too
here.
upfront.
It's okay.
Well, at this point too, obviously, first time you ever hear this song, you have no context, no setting. For all we know, they are in line at the grocery store.
They might be.
Yeah, that actually doesn't really change. It's never super clear where they are. Let me begin again. It's our first time together and I'm feeling kind of horny. Conventional methods of making love kind of bore me.
What?
Interesting.
Yeah, because as a strictly vanilla boy, a Jack Harlow of sorts, I wouldn't know, but you're always saying you love very unconventional sexual acts, so can you tell me what exactly is LL and, by extension, you talking about?
I am almost certain, can't say 100%, almost certain I've never uttered those words.
I'm pretty sure you have.
Well, one of us is wrong. Agree to disagree. Again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm opening the door to being wrong.
You're opening the door to something really unconventional.
You just got to keep your options open, my guy. Anyway, no, back to your question. Let's get into it. LL is admitting right up front, it's going to be a chore to get me there.
Yeah, maybe. Or it might just be like there's one very specific thing, right? Like
balloons
in a saddle, right? I'm going to put a saddle on your back.
Got it.
You're going to make horsey noises.
Oh my. See, so okay, honestly, I like to think of it a different way. It's equally as unconventional, but like super easy to service. So like balloons. Oh, I'm so into balloons. That is easily met. Like, what do you want to do? You want to blow them up, pop them, have them in the bed? We can do all these things. It's super easy. If that's what you're into.
I assume it would be about the static electricity.
Oh, that seems like a horrible side effect.
No, I think that's what you're into.
No way. If you're into electricity, there's better ways to go.
You like a bunch of little mild shocks that could happen at any time. So you fill that bed up with balloons. You're just banging in there, and just every once in a while you get a little
Can I
shock.
just want to hit pause?
I'm into balloons.
I feel like
yes.
now you are just telling me, like, if you were forced to make it sexy for you, maybe that's how it would work. That's what I feel like we're talking about now.
I'm just guessing.
Sure.
You suggested balloons. Yeah.
Yeah. You get my point though. Like something just like spatulas. Great. How many you need? We got wooden ones. We got plastic ones. What are we doing with them? Like super easy. But for the song's sake, I more am interested. Let's keep going a little bit. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's reveal it together. So he's just met this woman. First words out of his mouth. I'm horny, but it's going to get weird.
Yeah.
Great. Every woman's dream.
Yeah. I'm super in, and I'm also pretty committed to something you're not going to enjoy.
He continues. I want to knock your block off. Get my rocks off. Blow your socks off. Make sure your G-spot's soft. And pause. I'm almost certain what he just said is, I want to hit you to orgasm, really give it to you so that your G-spot softens. And listen, I'm no biologist or bionomist, but I'm almost certain, I think engorged, firm is usually where you want to be, right?
I think
G-spot
so.
soft?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not certain. Ladies, write in, hatepodmail@gmail.com. Gino, we're going to need an edit. Anyway, .com. What's your G-spot supposed to be? Hard, soft, in between? I don't know.
Mittens on your hands. What about that? Like, it doesn't work for me if my hands get cold.
Love it. Hot hands. Gotta have hot hands. Got the little hand warmers in your mittens.
Ooh, I like that.
Or maybe it's the thing we had like 2 weeks ago where they just like to get undressed or undress each other. So they just load up with every shirt and pants they got.
I like that.
Takes 2 hours to get down to those jennies. All right, let's keep going. This is good stuff.
It's not.
I'm gonna call you Big Daddy and scream your name. Matter of fact, I can't wait for your candy rain.
Let me pause you right there. Because here's the thing. So first of all, we have daddy play. Big daddy play, actually. But
Sure.
the phrase candy rain, I assume that means jizz. But
It's gotta be.
that to me, that comes across...
He's got Beatus.
He's dressed like a clown, and for some reason it has sprinkles in it somehow. Like,
Oh, God.
I know, because...
Doctor, I've got a problem with my wiener. Well, what seems to be the problem, Mr. Chuckles? Every time I orgasm, sprinkles come out. Well, I gotta see this.
Not just sprinkles. I'm just saying there are sprinkles mixed in there.
It's candy rain.
Sure. Which, I mean, physiologically that's impossible.
Jesus.
I have to assume he's stuffing those up there, right?
Oh my God.
For the effect, because he doesn't want to ruin that clown-like effect. This is why we should outlaw clowns and clowning.
Everybody's gonna enjoy my big finish.
Yes, there it is.
Erotic clowns, right in. HeyBudMail@gmail.com. Do you exist?
No, because erotic clown, the people that think of themselves as erotic clowns are just mimes. And no, you're not. No, you're
Mimes
not.
or Frenchmen.
Yeah, which are sexy.
Oh
no
my
one's saying
God.
you're not erotic, but
But you're not a clown.
just the whole thing doesn't work. Stop it.
Moving along. So what you saying? I got my swerve on. Bring it live. Make it last forever. Damn. The kitty cat's tight.
No notes.
He's getting excited. Oh, okay, I got it right here. Let's take it again. So what you saying? I get my swerve on, bring it live. Make it last forever, damn. The kitty cat's tight.
Again.
I think what he's saying is, you want me to make it last forever, but what you gotta understand is this kitty cat is pretty tight, so it's probably not gonna last too much longer. Well, because she continues. Daddy, slow down your flow. Put it on me like a G, baby, nice and slow. So she's like, hey, cool it, fuckface.
So he's not, okay, this is a song about him being very confident, but that not being accurate.
Yes, I think that the entire song, this is my big theory, that in the past we've run into songs where the singer may or may not actually understand the mechanics of intercourse, something I've questioned you about several times.
Right.
Never to my satisfaction. Anyway, that aside, I think this case is somebody that's just wildly inexperienced.
And overconfident.
Oh yeah, well he's talked it way up, which, listen, I'm not going to fault him. What are you going to say? Like if a woman engages in an erotic conversation with you, you're not going to be honest.
Yes, you have to up it exponentially until she is terrified.
Well,
Talk about
that's another
the candy
that's
rain
another
thing you're gonna do, and how you have to wear socks on your hands for some inexplicable reason. You know, be
I've
sexy.
been putting hard sprinkles in my urethra all day for this. I don't usually use dating services. Oh, you picked a really good one to swipe right on. Oh, God. Oh, that character needs to die in a fire. What seems to be the problem? I think there's still some sprinkles stuck in my urethra, doctor. I'm
What
sorry.
do you mean still? I'm sorry.
What do you mean stuck? What do you mean sprinkles? Who let you in here? Are you a demon? Oh, we got to continue. Okay, song continues.
Do you think real clowns act? It doesn't matter. Let's not get into it.
No, let's not. We can't. After the show, Gino, put a note up. Real clowns, do they come icing and sprinkles? I assume that's where you were going with that.
Yeah, it was.
Fantastic. We're sick, Tim. And I don't mean gross. I mean like clinically.
Yeah, Folia do. I'm really pissed off at the goddamn Joker movie. That was my thing.
I was going to say Legionnaires. It's a great deal of mold in our AC.
Yeah.
Stagnant water. Legionnaires. I need a roughneck fella, mandingo in the sack, who ain't afraid to pull my hair and spank me from the back. So she's getting a little more specific. He's been kind of pawing around at things, not entirely sure the order of operations, not warming up the oven properly, if I may. And so she's like, listen, guy, need you to do the following. A, then B, then C, really come at me. To which LL says, of course, no doubt I'm the player that you're talking about. Do you really think that you can work it out? So a little back and forth there. She remains skeptical. Things might have really started off poorly. Who knows where he even thought that kitty was? Tough to say. Song continues. After the challenge, LL greets her with, I guarantee, shorty, it's real. Baby, stick it out. Here comes the man of steel. And at this point, we have to assume he means vagina, but we're not certain.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Could be.
He might think he's spotting her as she does some squats.
Could be. Now, let me read. Okay, here's a few genius annotations. I'm just going to read. It doesn't matter what line they associate with, because somebody is scholar does apply to this person. Let me read 3 of them. LL is commenting that her vagina has a tight grip around his penis. LL is letting you know that his penis is big and all natural. LL is insinuating doggy style sex is to follow now. Why
It's
did
to
you...
follow.
It's to follow now. Also, doggy style is capitalized. I don't know if that's important, but it feels important to me.
God, I think it is a proper noun.
You are not German.
God, that's funny. Ugh, maybe choke on my Diet Pepsi. Would you like to take the chorus, or would you like me to?
I would like you to.
Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
I represent Queens. She was raised out in Brooklyn. Good
And
song.
this is sampled from a different song that
Right.
LaShawn
Her song, which is good. At least it's not some third artist. And it goes on like that. I only read half of the chorus, and that's fine. You don't need me to do it that many times. And the song continues, because it's quite lengthy. I'm in the mix now, searching for the right spot. To hit now, get down. And so...
Yeah, he knows roughly what he's doing. Like, he's seen some videos. He's rented some videos. He knows, yeah.
I'm picturing a couple of books checked out from the library, possibly opened with like those little sticky tabs on pages for reference. So he's kind of like looking at a diagram, looking at her vagina. He's like, got it. So he's in the mix. We're on the same page. She says, she's getting excited now. Damn, I love a dick down. You use a rubber. Damn right. You are my lover. All night. The pooty good to you? Heard the lover? Mad tight.
I don't
There's a
like
lot
the
there.
word pooty. That's...
No, nobody likes pooty. Nobody likes pooty.
Okay.
Listeners, write in, heypodmail@gmail.com. Do you call your vagina your pooty during intercourse? Or, more fun, because honestly, I don't want to know the
At
answer.
the doctor's office.
Actually, I will guarantee you that gynecologists have to deal with like a wild, hilarious list of euphemisms for a woman's vagina.
See, and that would make me super uncomfortable because, like, are you coming on to me or are you just an idiot?
They're just, raised Christian.
Or into some sort of weird nonsense, but you're just like, that's what I call it.
Yeah, it's gross. Anyway, a lot to break down here. First of all, it's 1995, height of the AIDS crisis. And so we are definitely making sure condoms are in the mix.
Yeah. Now, if it's
Love
an
that.
Australian and she refers to it as a clacker, hilarious.
Yeah, that is adorable.
Not adorable. It's genuinely trashy.
Off-putting.
But it is hilarious.
Australian women, how do you procreate? Let's see. Continuing on, he confirms he did in fact use a rubber. And, listen, I'm not a woman, so I can't say, but I can say from the male perspective, if there's a condom on.
Yeah.
I would assume women do too.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know.
I would assume so. But, if you're some sort of Spaniard, gotta use it.
Filthy semen sailing from port to port. Right. So he confirms he, of course, did practice safe sex because it's 1995. And then she asks if her pooty is good. And he replies, equally gross, that it's mad tight.
He replies, mad tight, the only thing left to do is climax.
Yeah, so that's what really made me think that he might have like a pamphlet or a set of books where he's like, well, the checklist, let me check the... Okay, I guess we just orgasm.
Autism.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Also, at least one of us is autistic.
Yeah, probably both.
So, probably both. Definitely you, though.
God damn it.
I mean, you definitely are. You're like one of the most high-functioning ones I've ever seen.
Hey.
Like super high, but it's there. God, it's there. It's frustrating. It's taken me a long time to learn to live with it. It's not your fault. Hey,
I mean, it is. Garrett.
it's mostly your fault. I think you're just an asshole. Okay, song continues because, God, it's long. So after he says, hey, I guess all that we have left to do is climax. Like, do you want to just, like, I don't know, make it last for a minute? She's like, yeah, word. We ain't going out like that. All this time you've been telling me that you was a don. I tried to warn you, girl. You wouldn't listen. Now let's get it on.
Yeah, so she's attracted to him, but he's terrible at this.
Yeah, she's just constantly having to remind him like where things go and to slow the fuck down. Song continues. You make me wild. Don't do that. Chill. Wait a minute, baby. Let me please you back. All right, so I think things have strayed again. And she's like, all right, this is going pretty... Hey, not that. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? Let go of my elbows. And so she's like, why don't I please you?
Back on your hands.
Yeah. When you've earned hand rights, we'll remove the mittens. So she tries to divert, refocus his attention. She's like, hey, let me please you back for a little bit, which of course he's like, great, fantastic, claps his mitten hands together.
Like a seal.
Like a seal. Like a seal. It's a callback.
But to what?
Leonard Cohen? I don't remember. No.
Kind of, though.
Kind of a little.
Yeah.
Jokes. You talk a good one, shorty. Now you're making me sweat. How a live fella like it, girl. Nice and wet. We get it on to the break of dawn. Damn, you're large. How a big girl like it, daddy. Nice and hard. Oh, my. But they're going over the basics, Tim. How a live fella like it, girl? Nice and wet. That's right. I like it wet. How do you like it? Nice and hard. Right. You like it hard. So me wet, you hard, but that's what I do. Let's make more sex.
Okay.
It just seems like a very simplistic explanation of intercourse.
Yeah. Safe sexing it, flexing it, getting mad affectionate, chewing it, oohing it, all while we're doing it, to which I ask, chewing it?
Yeah, don't chew.
Okay.
Don't chew. Don't chew anything. Don't chew, maybe earlobes. Give them a nibble. Let's focus on just this line, because it's one of the worst lines in the whole song. But safe sexing it, flexing it, getting it mad affectionate, chewing it, oohing it, all while we're doing it, still has such flow and rhythm. And even though it's nonsense, time was spent writing this. It's not, I got a watch. I got a Bentley. Try, modern rapists.
Yeah.
Just try. Like, this song's ridiculous. And like I said, I purposely picked arguably the worst line in the whole song, and it's 10 times better than most modern raps.
Yes, agreed.
Shots fired.
Get Rick Rubin to produce you SoundCloud bitches.
Seriously.
He'll do it.
Results are spotty at best.
Yeah.
Mostly bad.
Sometimes they're good.
Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they're terrible.
Yeah. Baby, I want to hit it in the worst way. Make it hot.
Make it hot.
Okay. Scheming on the ass since the first day.
Don't stop. There it is.
Yeah, so he is, we're kind of back. Like, I feel like this is a flash forward, or verse 2 is a flash forward. So they're back in line at the grocery store, and they, like, in their head, they've already gone through this, and she's just like, yeah, you're wearing those hand mittens, so I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go, but I'm going to give it a try. Mm-hmm. And now we're back, and he's just like, listen, man, I've been after this for a while. I've been coming into this, I don't know, the cheese aisle and hitting on you for a while now.
I see. I'm close to where you're at. I'm saying maybe we're saying the same thing. Let's confirm. I took it as, so they had that first bang sesh. It was rocky, but he kind of got there with a lot of coaching and a reference to those books, pamphlets, and diagrams. And so then they run into each other again, as you're saying, they're in the grocery store. He's got a shopping cart filled with nothing but fudgicles and pork rinds. It's confusing.
Well, you gotta have something to make it look like you were there, not just to meet her. So you get all those things that normal people would get.
Oh, hey, what you getting? 16 cans of cream corn? Yeah, I really like cream corn. So anyway, what are you doing here? Fucking that corn. Yikes. In conversation. Anyway, back to the song. I take it as this third verse is he's saying, look, I know it wasn't great. I know I took my mittens off several times. I know that no one was expecting that many sprinkles, but I want another shot. Give me another chance. I've got the mechanics down. I've been practicing at home like crazy.
On this corn.
On this corn. Shockingly similar.
Oh my God. All right.
Oh, we've hit a new low. Anyway, give me another shot. Baby, I want to hit it in the worst way, make it hot, scheming on this ass since the first day, don't stop, etc., etc. Finally, he says, damn, I love it when you talk like... Oh, I guess she says it. Damn, I love it when you talk like that. Make it bounce sugar long as you bounce me back. More flesh than the Greek fest. Roll up the excess past the Hennessy. Put my body to the test. So
no
they're
notes.
naked.
No notes on
they're
that.
They're fucking, yeah. I did not know what cess was. Had to look that up.
I still don't know.
It's what they used to call smoking weed.
Oh.
Roll up some cess.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
I do not understand, but all right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an entomology? No, that's a bug guy.
Yeah, probably just good to let it go.
Fair enough. Song continues. Wait, daddy, many fellas ago, I was a young girl listening to how you flow. Now's my chance to hit you off, daddy, I'm grown. From the back, from the side, right, I'm in the zone.
So she knows him from his music and assumed that he would be as experienced as she. Turns out he's got some sort of brain thing.
Quite possibly. I feel bad. I actually really like LL Cool J.
Oh, he's a great man, great father. Much better than his father. I think we can say that for sure.
I completely agree. Very confident in saying that. He seems like a very nice man.
Yeah.
Song continues. Somehow. One of a kind when it's time to do mine. Camcorder and the whole shit, press rewind.
So maybe he's
she there?
No, I think she is. I think that he was bragging. He was like, "Yeah, man, I did a good job this time." And she's like, "Let's rewatch the tape,
go to the
fella."
tape.
Yeah. Because
One of those little light pens.
Yeah.
See where your hands are? Yeah, don't put those there.
Put them back in the mittens.
Yeah, when you are ready, we'll take the mittens off. Yikes. Yeah, song continues. Let it flow on screen while we puffs an L. Laying back in the cut while we under the spell. Word, life, I like the way the ep went down. Go to sleep tomorrow, I'll take you back downtown. So they're going to watch the video they just made, as you said, critique it. Another fun 90s slang, and L is a joint. So they're going to puff an L. Interesting. And then while they're high as shit, they're going to watch how they banged. And of course, LL immediately is like, that was great. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then the end of that verse, Tim, really legitimately, no joking, made me question, have I missed the entire plot of this song?
I agree, because my take on the last line is that she's a prostitute.
Yeah, or at best, a dancer.
Sure. And that he's having to tell her, listen, go to sleep. I'm taking you home tomorrow. I'm not taking you home tonight. I don't know why everyone just wants to leave at night. I'm taking you home in the morning. We're going to pretend that this,
it's girlfriend play?
Well, not necessarily. He's just like, listen.
I paid for the 24 hours?
Yes, I bring hookers home. You'll sleep here. And again, to our younger listeners, do not do this. It does not matter how innocent your intentions. She will feel unsafe, and as a result, you will be unsafe.
These are all excellent tips. It's weirdly accurate, and you've said it very succinctly that almost alarms me, but I'm also grateful to hear it. That's weird.
I know about who not to let sleep in our home.
You could have fooled me.
Listen, I invite musicians and what you refer to as street rats, some of which are the same people, to sleep here. That's how Beck got here.
Yeah.
You remember when I brought Beck home?
Yeah, but he was wearing a full white tuxedo, top and tails.
Yeah, he was also wearing a t-shirt under that said Beck on it.
That's true.
That's how
that
I knew
was
it was
confusing.
Beck.
That's what made me think it wasn't him. Who does that?
Beck?
Apparently. Alrighty, Tim, that brings us to the end of the song because it's just the chorus two more times.
It's also a ton of moaning. Don't forget
they
about
climax.
the moan. Yeah, okay.
Like, she moans so much you can hear that LL gets uncomfortable and starts laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Okie dokie. That brings us to the music video. And it's not like amazing.
Yeah, I want to give a spoiler here. I am genuinely shocked that this music video did not include actual penetration, because the song does.
I think, yeah, that's true. I think it does. I think when she's on that white carpet and kind of grinding and you only see from like her shoulders forward, I think he's fucking her.
Oh my.
Or indeed.
I believe, and again, this is information I gleaned from Reddit. I believe he had just gotten married before this shoot, and I believe his wife was displeased with his actions.
Yeah, it was probably the intercourse.
Yeah, maybe. Also, LaShawn, this is not her. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, they really fucked her sideways.
Well, sort of. She got pregnant during the recording of this song, and so they had models lip sync her parts, allegedly to part of that.
Well, I mean, she did.
Yes, but
more or less.
I mean, literally during the recording of the
see.
song.
Yeah, super allegedly on that then. Jesus Christ.
Because he was inside of her.
Uh-huh. Jesus.
Well, they described it to us. Don't act like I'm the pervert here.
That's true. I apologize. Anyway, let's talk about this music video, Tim. You stop me at any point if you feel like I missed something. We open with some shots of Queens. Looks like stock footage. Then we cut hard to two women dancing, and it's sexy. It's sexy as all hell. I think their faces may be painted gold.
Yes, like that James Bond, I believe.
Correct. Then LL pulls up in a Land Rover in just a parking lot, possibly a dealership.
Yeah, and it's one of those hilarious 90s ones where it's amazing how cool they looked at the time. Because you look back and you're like, that looks like a shitty little toy car, right?
Yeah, it's not great. Anyway, he stands in front of his cool car and raps for a little bit.
Into a cell phone, that's important.
Yeah, that is weird. And then he eventually puts the cell phone away and just stares at a woman who is in what I think a very windy parking lot talking to, I guess, him on her 1993 cell phone.
Yes.
But then when they cut back to him, he's not on the phone. He's just staring at her talking to nobody.
But he will be back on the phone for later.
Correct. Suddenly, LL is no longer in the parking lot. He's at home, dressed in his whites, and he's on his cordless, also on a white couch in the living room.
Right.
His sunglasses, aggressively 1993, and might I say, suck. Okay, so now this lady, I don't remember her name, not LaShawn, she's not on the phone. She's crawling around on what I believe to be, and we can check this, is a cat skin rug.
It's a sex rug.
It's a sex rug, but it's furry like a white, big, furry cat, and it's when they say that kitty is tight.
Yes. She becomes a cat at some point, or vice versa. Is that a thing that happens, or did I imagine that?
Ooh, no, they do cut to a cat. I don't know if it's her or not.
I think, well, no, sure. It's not a good special effect, but I think it implies the cat is where she was, and it's like, oh, hey, maybe the lady's a cat or something.
I think they just cut to a cat to make it airable on MTV. Because he says the kitty's tight or whatever. Anyway, this is where she's gyrating in such a manner that LL is clearly off screen fucking the shit out of her.
Okay.
Allegedly. But it's erotic. It's erotic and I'm into it. Then we're suddenly in a co-ed bathroom.
He's in a ladies' room. He followed her into the ladies' room.
Is he a ghost? Because she doesn't see him.
He might be.
She's putting on lipstick and he's just watching. It seemed like a co-ed bathroom because there's another man in the bathroom. Like a guy walks in the door.
Maybe a bunch of guys died in the bathroom.
Oh God,
and then,
what a horrible place to hunt.
When they remodeled it, the ladies' room ended up where the men's room was, and so now they're just haunting the ladies' rooms, watching them pee.
Gross.
That's
But
what they
also
do. They have
boring.
nothing else to do.
That's true. Anyway, after he watches her put her lipstick on, we're suddenly back to the couch where this lady is licking his face, and I gotta say, I'm not into it.
No, because that's too close to kissing for you.
That must be it. Then LL is on a walk in Queens in his windbreaker and making kissy lips at this lady. You remember the kissy lips? He puckers them?
Yeah.
I mean, LL loves to lick his lips and do the lip thing. I don't care for it, LL, I gotta say. Anyway, finally, we're in a creepy peep show and LL is dressed like he's in the Smooth Criminal music video and has escaped. You familiar with those outfits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the leaning. Anyway, definitely looks like he just stepped off that set and into this one. And he's watching ladies dance while he eats an apple. The ladies, Tim, you help me. They appear to be on some sort of carousel or Ferris wheel or elevator and allows them to like rotate in front of him.
Yeah, I think so. My only note is I thought it was a peach and I thought he was also masturbating.
The peach would make more sense, but I was interesting. Just clicked with the other thing it said. The peach would make more sense, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think that's an apple. Listeners, write in.
Could be.
But as to the masturbating, couldn't say. Don't know where that hand is.
I can. He is.
Yeah, I mean, he's at a peep show.
Yeah.
Let's see. Continuing, he's watching ladies dance while he eats his apple or peach, and then suddenly one of the ladies grabs his attention. LL is smitten with one of them. And this is where things get strange. He puts the unidentified fruit in his mouth and starts chair dancing. It looks so silly. Like, I'm not a good dancer. Well, I'm not good at, like, modern freestyle dancing.
Right, yes.
Samba with the
You
best of
learned that cotillion bullshit.
Correct. Anyway, I can do what he's doing here. He's just dancing in a chair with a fucking peach in his mouth. It's ridiculous. Anyway, LL is overcome with his sexiness and starts to rip his own clothes off when suddenly one of the dancers appears in the peep booth with him and they proceed to bang.
Yeah, that's pretty much this music video.
Oh, we're not done.
Ah.
Then she's on a bed in a leather bikini while LL is in the corner dressed like the construction worker from the Village People while she just rolls around. Then we're suddenly in a car. He's back in the Smooth Criminal suit. He's picking up this mystery woman outside of a Junior's. I think it's the one in Brooklyn because I don't think there's one in Queens. Good cheesecake. Not great cheesecake. Good cheesecake. Then we're back to the peep show where LL continues to eat his unnamed fruit erotically. It's also not great. And then we're back to the hotel for some dry humping in the construction outfit, dry hump in the car, back to the peep show, and then I think the whole thing was about what the song was about, picking up a prostitute or seducing a stripper.
Or a lady that's working in the cheese aisle of the grocery store.
That's right. Oh, do you also like brie? Feel free to use that. Tim, how did this do?
Pretty good. Sold more than 1 million copies in the US. It hit number 9 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and number 9 inside of, and I do mean inside of, the Dutch.
Okay. But what did people think of it?
Well, we don't have a Robert Christgau review, but he did listen to it, and his one choice cut from the album Mr. Smith is Doin' It.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. There are 91 total ratings on Amazon, 4.6 out of 5 stars on average, 82% 5-star, 5% 1-star. The only one I really want to read is by Marilyn Fletcher, who wrote, "Purchased for my son, 1 out of 5 stars." She had an awkward car ride with her son. There weren't many other good ones, so I went to YouTube, Garrett. And these are weird. These are weird. Chibata, 7539, 11 months ago. I remember riding with my dad in the car throughout Brownsville quite often, listening to this and lounging when I was 4 mid-90s. I don't know. Didn't understand the lyrics back then, but it always had me bobbing my head. Moved a few years later, for obvious reasons. But I'm grateful my parents cultured me to a lot of timeless music. I love and miss you, Dad. What happened in Brownsville? You left out the only interesting part of that story.
What were the obvious reasons?
I don't know.
Sinister.
Adam Khan 5274. Memories of cruising Moscow in summer 2009. Living the high life with my VIP Russian brothers. I've had a good life.
Wait, that's the review?
That's the Amazon comment, or the YouTube comment.
Okay. My Russian brothers.
Well, VIP brothers, yes.
In 2009?
Yes.
Okay. I both don't know why that was written or why you read it. I'm so confused.
Enrico 601, 7 years ago. This is the best song he ever made. Love the 90s forever. It's time he makes a comeback with a similar song, but that will be difficult. 90s were a very different time, but it's not impossible. Bruno Mars is also trying to bring some 90s back in its songs and clothes stylings. And I have to say, he's doing pretty good. Greets from Amsterdam.
You stay there, Amsterdamian. We don't need any of you.
J. Moore 9 Abel, 13 years ago.
Do you think it's comedian Jay Moore?
Possibly. I think you'll think so after I read this review. God damn, this song gets me hot all these years later.
If it was read as a Christopher Walken impression, then I definitely think it was Jay Moore.
Whitney Marie 309, 10 years ago. I'm on Chatterbait right now, camming to this LL Cool J classic. No, you're not. You're on YouTube, you lying whore.
Chatterbait.
Yeah.
It can't be a thing anymore.
I don't know.
It was a Russian roulette, I think, right?
What?
I think that's what the service was. I think it was like Russian roulette.
Yeah. Every 6th time you'll get a lady, but 5 times it'll just be a masturbating dude.
Yeah, probably more like 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm sure it's way higher than that, Garrett. 2 more here. Larry Un1N 4 months ago. Not only do ladies love LL Cool J, but he got hands too. LL can fight. That guy got beat up by LL Cool J.
I guess so.
And this last one, Garrett, is just for you. This is by GV707 from 1 month ago. I was 97 years young when this came out. I'm now 126 years and I'm still listening to it. Great times.
That's a real review? Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's somebody that's heard this show before and is like, fuck you, buddy.
Let's see if we can get a third co-host. That person seems to get what we're up to.
Yeah.
Ooh, good reviews, Tim. Who's this for?
Ladies and internet perverts.
I was going to say lovers.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Erotic.
Yes, it is.
Final thoughts. What'd you learn?
I just want to reiterate that this is sexy stuff this week, and I really hope we played that After Dark theme.
I doubt we did.
Probably not.
Sploosh.
Okay.
Tim, do you hate this song?
No, I don't. I did not get there. What about you?
No. I'll probably listen to it this evening. Doing it well.
Doing it. Yes.
Still a different song. Fantastic. Alrighty, Tim, that brings us to listener mail. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to? And boy, do we have some good ones this week.
I think I will go first this week, if that's all right with you.
You know what? I think you've earned it.
All right. With my keeping it, what did I say? With my toning it down a bit this week, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, been especially with this week's content. You could have really gone off the rails.
I know. My email is from Alan C. It's called Youth Propagation plus an apology plus music plus disclaimer.
I saw this title. It's a good title.
Dear Dr. Richardson and Dr. Harvey, and let me stop myself right there. This is how we should be addressed.
Always.
Yes.
Or, of course, Lecostier. But
yeah, fair enough. Well, you could be Dr. Lecostier.
Dr. Costier.
Dr. Costier, there it is. Anyway, he continues, or she, I'm a big fan of this shit's hot snakes lingo. Such a big fan that as a teen, I've been taking it upon myself to introduce it to my youth peers at the high school and shopping mall and such. Does not sound, hey, this sounds like a real Steve Buscemi, hello fellow teens kind of thing.
Yes. That's an old SNL sketch, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, fellow teens. You're just like, oh my God, you're ghoulish next to normal people.
Yes. Very little facial symmetry. There's been a slight setback, though. They run from me. Why must they run from me? Someday they'll see. I'll make them see.
Okay, hold on.
Evangelically yours, Alan C. And there's a bunch of PSs here. P.S. I would like to apologize for the last time I wrote in and triggered a trend of people requesting you cover car seat headrests that span multiple prepisodes. As repentance, I'd like to suggest the song Daniel Dolphin by The Free Design. It's a pop song for children from 1970 about a dolphin who hangs out with kids and is maybe Jesus. It's got a great last verse that left me scratching my head. I'd love to hear your take on it. PPS.
Interesting.
The only lyric that has stuck with me more than DC Talks, my best friend was born in a manger, is every day is payday, swipe my card, then I do the nay-nay, from Boss by Fifth Harmony. I don't know anything about this group besides that line and that they were on X Factor, but they seem worthy of the Why I Hate This Album treatment. PPS. My friend told me that the original message sounded school shootery. This is his first email, so I would like to clarify that I was trying to hint at a more whimsical crime, like setting my hyper-intelligent octopus friend loose at the roller rink or leaving a haunted Jack-in-the-Box in the cafeteria for the prom queen to find.
Okay, that's way more acceptable.
Yes, it is. I don't remember your first email. I assume it was terrifying, but I like this Jack-in-the-Box situation.
I think he's referencing Someday They'll See. I'll make them see. Evangelically yours, Alan C.
Oh, sure.
I think he's referencing his own first email.
No, because he definitely said from a different email address, I lost the old one. He's sending this from,
that's true.
He definitely.
I see.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, I think that you should keep all of the lingo that we use on this show, and you should, obviously credit us and send them to our website. If they have problems with what you're saying, send them to us, as long as it's, above the, on the level.
Right. I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but sure. Yeah, everyone should be talking like us by this point, I would imagine. We are trendsetters. We are in the zeitgeist. A couple 1-2 good boys. I'm sure that's being said up down the streets of the youth.
Yeah. T to B.
T to B is fantastic. I mean, we have so many key catchphrases we've stolen from other people.
Yeah. Cowboy pride. Sorry,
that one we could let go.
I've never used that one.
Yeah, now we could let go immediately. Let's not use that one. That's a good example of what we don't want out there. I'm glad you did that. Fantastic. It's always good to have one we throw away. Oh, great email, Tim.
Do you have an email?
I have too many emails. That was one of the emails I had. Let's see here. I'll give you 2 titles. You tell me which one you want. Would you like Keep an Eye on Gino or It's Been a While, but It's Not Stained?
Ooh, that second one, definitely.
All right. It's been a while, but it's not stained. From Dylan. Hello again, Garvin and Jimmy. It's been a while since I wrote in, but after listening to the Corn Issues episode, I thought it was a good time to write in again. To answer your question on who said phlegm scatting first, I think it was Tim. What?
Excellent.
God.
Everyone go back and listen to the episode and then write in that it was Tim. You don't even need to listen to the episode. Write in it was Tim. It was definitely me.
No, let's double check it. But if it is, credit where credit's due, Tim. It's an excellent term. God, that hurts me though. Cuts me to the
King
bone.
of the show for this week.
That's really difficult for me to hear. Anyway, to answer your question as to who said phlegm scatting first, I think it was Tim, but I'm going to say it was Garrett because because as a man whose fuck style is also buck wild, we have to stick together. Okay. Also, I bring an update on the daddy talk. I started by calling my wife daddy in a non-sexual situation. She didn't really react or hate it, so I started referring to myself as daddy in the third person. Well, it's been about a year since doing that, and And now I'm stuck with talking as if I'm Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson cutting a wrestling promo. So with no end in sight of that, I would say it's going pretty well. For something truly terrible, check out the song THE, The Hardest Ever by will.i.am, Jennifer Lopez, and curiously, Mick Jagger. Thanks for the laughs, Daddy, aka Dylan. Good email, Dylan. Sorry to hear that you have to refer to yourself as Daddy in the third person.
Should we refer to him as Daddy? No, that's crazy.
I mean, no, that is crazy.
How about in person we refer to him as Daddy?
Mr. Daddy.
Dr. Daddy.
Well, I don't Daddy right in. No, you know what? That felt wrong immediately.
Yeah. Let's just not do it. It's stupid.
Yeah,
Fuck this
we'll
guy.
call him Dylan.
Yeah, no, you know what? Don't listen anymore, Dylan. You're out.
Oh, sorry. You've been excommunicated. And it's not your fault. We want you to know that. Yeah. Hey, listen, Dylan, it's not your fault.
No, but you gotta
listen.
Go. Yeah.
You gotta go, my guy. You know what? You can listen on YouTube. Nobody goes there. You can do that. Do you guys know we're on YouTube? I already know the answer. You didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody knows, Jano. Nobody knows. If you're good at SEO, maybe give us a jingle jangle. We're bad at computers, apparently. Tim, music news of the weird. You or me? Who?
Oh, definitely me.
Okay.
Music news of the weird.
In artificial musical intelligence news this week, Garrett, musicians are pretty mad about AI and even madder about the UK government's upcoming changes to copyright law, which will make it easier for AI companies to use their copyrighted work to train AI models without compensating them in any way or getting some sort of license. Basically, the UK government is changing this to an opt-out model where artists or those that own the works have to actually opt out instead of agreeing to let it happen. You know, seems like something they could and should do, but I assume most of them are high currently and will forget. Who knows?
I got to imagine a team of lawyers for artists and record labels are like, cool, I guess we'll file the paperwork.
Yeah, hopefully. Anywho, though, a group of 1,000+ musicians are releasing an album as a protest to avoid
1,000 musicians?
Yes, well, it's going to be a silent album, Garrett. The proceeds, it's an album of silence. The proceeds are going to be...
But, like, what's on it?
Nothing. It's an album that you play and there's no sound.
Well, wait, hold on.
I understand, Garrett. I understand. What they want to show...
don't know what I'm going to ask.
I do. Does this make bad AI music sound better by comparison? Yes, it does. A lot. AI music is better than the sound of actual humans not making music, I think, right?
Okay, well, I have a lot of questions that you don't have answers to, but I'm going to ask them, so deal with it. First of all, you seem to imply that they recorded silence.
Yes, 1,000 of them. Listen, this is not, to be clear, this is not an album with nothing on it, okay? They claim, because listen, that would be cheating and that would be kind of going in the direction of the AI. They had to all get together as human beings physically in a room and record silence because Damon Albarn, Billy Ocean, Kate Bush, The Clash, Jamiroquai, and more are honest people, Garrett. They would not cheat in this AI competition.
So wait, there's no way the 1,000 of them were in the same room, but did they record silence?
There's going to be a silent album. I don't know.
Is it maybe you know this. If I order this album...
There is a single sneeze. You'll never guess when. Wait for it, Garrett. Do not order this album, you fuck.
Who was that? That was Peter Gabriel.
He even sneezes on key. It's amazing.
Well, if I order this, do I physically get something?
Yes. Well, perhaps it's MP3s. I don't know.
No. That's even stupider somehow.
No, I hope that it's a vinyl record that just doesn't have anything on it. An uncut record.
God. Okay. Listeners, write in. Follow up, please. HeyPodmail@gmail.com. Like, what?
Is this even true? I read it on the BBC.
That was a real left-hand turn.
Garrett, do you have any dumb news?
Sure do. Everybody's least favorite 90s hip-hop star, Diddy Daddy, has one less lawyer fighting for his freedom this week after, in his federal trial, because his legal team couldn't get on the same page regarding the best possible defense for Mr. Diddy Daddy. Sources with direct knowledge of Anthony Rico's exit from Diddy's camp tell us there had been a power struggle going on between lead attorney Mark Agnifilo. Wait, that can't be it. Mark Agnifilo.
Agnifilo.
Mark Agnifilo. That sounds wrong. And him for several months. And it finally came to a head. Rico shook up Diddy's team Friday morning by informing the judge that he could no longer, quote, effectively defend his client. But his filing lacked any sort of detail as to why he was actually leaving. I suspect I know the reason. He's out of money and they can't win.
I assume his proposal of their best defense is, should we just all get together and kill this guy? And everyone's like, listen, we got to at least pretend, right?
So what are we thinking? Like a Wicker Man thing? Like just burn him? Or you guys want to like Caesar this shit? Hey, I saw that new Zack Snyder movie. They kind of do like a Caesar thing, but like to get his own security to do it.
That was a great movie.
Are you talking about the Scargiver?
Yeah, was it the music? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So fucking stupid.
It's so stupid. It just kept playing though in the middle of an assassination. Anyway, so yeah, Diddy's fucked still, and he's slightly more fucked if that's even possible. What other fun news do you have, Timmy?
Well, Garrett, in Austin, Texas, December 2024 news, Garrett, I wanted to see how our ex-town was doing. It turns out Texas noise artist and Garrett P. Harvey's second cousin on his mom's side, Daniel Danny Tantrum, recently performed at Austin's Coral Snake in some sort of G.G. Allen-inspired bout of filth. I'll explain to you later who that is. Part of his quote-unquote music show
I'll kill you.
involved him crouching on a stool and shitting upon the stage, which is art. He then ate his own shit, Garrett, as part of his music and art. And this is the second time in recent months that Danny Tantrum has included eating his own feces as part of a music show. There is a video of it. Don't go watch it. Here's what I think happened, Garrett. He didn't intend to do that. He didn't intend to shit on that stage. He stood up on that stool. A stool slipped out. He was embarrassed. He panicked, and he tried to hide that evidence by eating it.
Oh, God.
Anywho, Garrett, the staff at the Coral Snake were pretty pissed off. They immediately stopped the show as they should have. They made him clean up his mess in shame. Well, what was left of it. And he made clear that this act was not meant in a negative way toward the venue. This was simply art. And, I mean, listen, I would have calmly had him clean it up, Garrett. And then I would have beaten him as if I were Garrett Harvey and he were a Nicaraguan man who'd been caught with a in Nicaragua.
You're gonna bleep a lot of words.
Okay,
there.
fair enough. I would have beaten him as if I were Garrett Harvey and he were a Yemeni man rightfully defending Yemen with a rifle. The point is, Garrett, there would have been epidural hematomas and detached retinas for days.
We've all served the House of Saud in different ways, Tim.
That's fair. That's fair. Garrett, poop news, go.
Actually, okay, I'm gonna go out of order, but this is the closest I can get. Here's
You don't have to. This isn't the bit.
in butt rock news.
Okay.
Nickelback and Creed will be joining forces to co-host this year's edition of the Summer of '99 and Beyond Festival at Alpine Valley Music Theater on July 18th and 19th. The lineup for the second edition of this Nostalgia Fest will include Live, Daughtry, Tonic, Our Lady Peace, Lit, Three Doors Down, Seven Dust, Mammoth, WVH, I don't know who that is, Hinder, Vertical Horizon, how have they escaped us, and Fuel. 2-day tickets for the event will go on sale at 11 a.m. on February 21st, which is in the past already. The promoter Live Nation did want to make clear that there are no single tickets. You must purchase a 2-day ticket. It cannot be broken up and is non-transferable. Give us your soul.
I don't see why anyone would want to go for just one day to that. If you're into that, you want both
You're
days. Yeah.
And you know they split it up so that not all the good shit's on one. The good shit?
Yeah.
Tim, what news do you have that might be about 90s people?
Well, Garrett, and it's not cool to make fun of disabled people this week. I would like to offer an apology on behalf of this podcast to Mr. Kanye West, aka even more aka K-Way. For you see, Garrett, my boy, K-Way has announced that he was misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder and actually, instead, has autism. And this apparently explains why he's the most insufferable monster since Danny Tantrum, who also probably has autism. Speaking to Justin LaBoy, on his podcast, The Download, Kanye said his wife, Bianca Sensori, kinda diagnosed him, or at least suggested he get re-diagnosed. He said,
Everything this guy says is so frustrating.
He said, I went to this doctor. My wife told me to do that because she said something about your personality doesn't feel like it's bipolar. I've seen bipolar before, and I've come to find out that it's really case of autism that I have. So Garrett, he came down with the autisms, you see, and his nude and abused wife diagnosed him. So, apparently, when he says, I'm a Nazi, or I love Hitler, or I'm never apologizing for my Jewish comments, I can say whatever the fuck I want to say forever. Where's my fucking apology for freezing my accounts? Or, I don't even know what the fuck anti-Semitic means. It's just some bullshit Jewish people made up to protect their bullshit. Or post swastikas inside the Star of David, or have a Shopify store during the Super Bowl to sell swastika shirts. That's autism, apparently. So don't bitch about it.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah. The point being, I'm just kidding. He's a fucking monster.
Yeah, he's definitely bipolar.
yeah. And also a Nazi. Okay, listen. The bipolar,
that's a
the
weird
autism,
sentence.
and the Nazi, they're all separate. None of those interrelate at all. They're just all things that he has.
That's fair.
Garrett, K-Way news. Do you have, or Bianca Censori news, or Hitler news? It has to be one of those three things.
You read all the stories I have about those people. But in somebody's really either great or terrible at pranks news, DJ Khaled has become the latest celebrity to receive a spooky black coffin at his Florida home.
Oh, I love this. Garrett.
It gets better. Whoa. This after Tekashi 6ix9ine got one himself at his mansion just days previous.
Is it funnier if somebody kills these people, or less funny?
No comment.
All right, I think that's an answer.
It's not. Khaled's creepy coffin was dropped off at his Miami residence last Saturday by two people who, according to the police report, rolled up in a truck to a security guard and claimed to be from a delivery company. After they were given permission to enter the property by an idiot, the two drove right up to his front door, dragged a coffin out of their car, and then began to pray to it. Written all over the homemade coffin was R.I.P. OVO and R.I.P. Drake in white letters, along with an upside-down cross.
This is the most fascinating story we've read in months.
Yeah, so it's late breaking. We'll keep everyone updated, I'm sure, but it's 90% a goof, 10% Manson-y murder cult.
Yes, hopefully it's the last bit. I hope it's the last bit. I hope it's not the last bit.
I mean, folks, the number of times I've heard Tim say, I could really just go for a Tate LaBianca murder thing, you know? Like, I couldn't even count on two hands.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, where have all our weird black coffins gone, Garrett? From our storage locker.
Are we missing some?
We're missing at least two.
I mean, I don't check them, obviously. It's not something we need frequently, but I guess, yeah, you were on inventory last. You'd know. Well, I guess we got some interns to interrogate. You want to be bad cop or punchy cop?
No comment.
I think that's an answer. Alrighty. Tim, what other news do you have?
In Snop Dogg news, Garrett, Snop Dogg and Tom Brady had a Super Bowl commercial together, which I believe ended anti-Semitism except for Kanye. Unrelated news, notable intern Tom B. Rady has been absent from our domicile and studio and laboratory for 2 weeks, and when he returned, he asked me what my reaction was to what he referred to as his Super Bowl commercial. Unclear what he meant by that.
That is confusing. Did you inquire?
I did. He wouldn't answer. He wanted to know very specifically the answer to his question before he would answer any of mine.
Listen, I've been firm for years that is Thomas B. Rady from Texas A&M University.
Right.
For the first time, I am willing to consider that is professional football player Thomas Brady. It's probably not. Don't get your hopes up.
It's probably not, but we should.
But we're going to need some DNA.
Ooh, let's get some of that.
I'm going to cut him.
Okay.
You get the sack.
Delightful. Garrett, what other news do you have?
Well, in my final story, Tim, a real downer. Let's get into it. It's about Korn.
Oh, no.
Almost 4 years since founding Korn bassist Reginald Fieldy Arvizu announced he was taking a hiatus from the group, the musician has revealed he has not spoken to his bandmates in more than 5 years. Not a great sign.
Does that add up? That timeline?
Sure. Okay. Fieldy served as the bassist for Korn since its inception in 1993, performing on every one of their studio albums to date, including 1998's Follow the Leader and, of course, 1999's now infamous Issues, as featured on this show. In June 2021, however, he revealed he would be, quote, taking some time to heal, end quote, and to address his, and this is disturbing, quote, bad habits which had, quote, caused some tension with the people around me, end quote. Days later, after making these statements, he clarified, it's not drugs, but it is almost certainly booze. He says, quote, I've never tried cocaine. I've never tried heroin. I drink Bud Light, man. It's clear, end quote.
Maybe he loves DMT and is always on DMT.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, listen, I'm no DMT expert, but I wonder how frequently you can be on that before your brain dies, because I assume that sucks all your serotonins out.
I'd like to think that you just get used to it, and at some point, if you're not on DMT, then you just start to see the granularity of the ground, you're just seeing all the little bumps and everything. It becomes hyper real.
Right. I see. Interesting.
I don't know.
Sorry. Yeah, I couldn't say. I've never mega-dosed myself on
one of these interns addicted to DMT.
I don't even know if that's possible. I think it's got sort of a built-in governor.
Okay. Well, we'll
I
try.
don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
that's what science is for. Get them in the lab. Start drawing straws. I want it to be scientific. Tim, what else you got?
Garrett, in DP news this week, Get It Together Manchester audiences. The Dolly Parton-themed musical, Here You Come Again, currently at the Opera House in Manchester, had to be stopped midway once again, which has been happening at both the Manchester and London shows, due to homophobic rantings by audience members who don't know who Dolly Parton is. Most recently, this happened when the whole cast just left the stage because a woman who, again, had no idea who Dolly Parton is and also had never been to a musical or the theater before, was audibly disgusted that a gay character was on the stage. A man was previously removed from an audience about a week before, and a London show was stopped when a man began shouting slurs at the stage, followed by, I just want to see Dolly Parton. This show is about a diehard fan whose fantasy version of international icon Dolly Parton gets him through trying times. Dolly Parton is not there. Dolly Parton is also one of the most LGBT positive artists out there. Also, Garrett, stop talking. Stop fucking talking in movie theaters, in actual theaters. I don't give a shit if you're yelling slurs at gay people or yelling approving compliments. It is obnoxious. You are obnoxious. Stop it, you absolute cunts. Remain silent.
Can I just add a little addendum to that?
Is it going to be about how I was recently removed from a Beetlejuice performance?
No, I don't want to talk about that. And I don't think legally you should.
Okay.
But, real Bobert situation. Tim got Boberted. No, what I want to talk about is, if you want to watch something on your phone or listen to it, get fucking headphones. I don't. I can hear it. I don't want to hear it.
This is super common on the subway, and I do not understand it.
I understand it. They don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I am well past my curb stomping age, Tim. That's not even on the table for me anymore. Not gonna do that.
No.
But I get close.
Yeah.
I get so close now.
And you're often carrying that rifle.
Unrelated.
Fair enough.
Great news, Tim. That brings us to the part of the show where we announce what album we're going to be talking about in just 7 short days. So, Timmy, pull a ball out of the hopper. Let me know, what album will we be doing this week?
Garrett, all these balls are the same, and your opening makes more sense to me now. We are doing, apparently, the 1967 self-titled David Bowie album. This was a recommendation from Sam Stone, and apparently Garrett liked this recommendation so much that he's replaced all of our balls with Bowie balls.
I rigged it, Gino.
You sure did, friend. You sure did.
Gino's laughing like crazy. Oh, he's joking. He's joking.
It's all right. He'll cough it out.
Yeah, he'll cough it up. He's like a cat. Anyway, that's exciting, Tim. I've heard a song on it, and I've heard not great things.
I've heard exclusively great things from Sam Stone.
I don't think you mean great like I mean great. We'll find out. But for this week, folks, that's going to do it for us. As always, rate, review, subscribe, follow, I don't know, whatever. Again, if you know SEO, maybe contact us, heypodmail@gmail.com.
Address it to Garrett, because I won't understand. I'll think it's spam, and I'll delete it.
That's accurate. That is accurate. Any who's will be. But you can reach out to us about any sort of old thing if you've got suggestions, thoughts, funny stories, questions, requests. We will field all of those things. You heard a couple of emails today. Those were really humdingers. So if you got a sense of humor like that, that's kind of what we're looking for. But again, we'll take requests, ideas, thoughts, suggestions. We want to hear it all. If you're an artiste and you've got some artwork you'd like us to feature on our various socials, If it's good and provided it is not creepy, we'll do that. So send it on in. Of course, that goes for songs as well. You could very well end up being the new jingle for various segment on this show.
Or our main song, Accountant and All Thumbs. Still looking at you.
Oh, that's right. We have that very talented person who has like a PhD in musicology and musiconomy.
I think he was just fucking with us, getting our hopes up.
That's cruel.
It is cruel. He's a cruel guy.
Is that what you wanted? Do you want to see Tim all upset? Because he is. He's all red in the face. He's mashing his hands into his lap. Quit that. He's all out of sorts. Is this what you wanted to see? My brows all furrowed. I didn't want that.
You look
Write our
great,
song.
though.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I needed it today. Yeah. Okay, that's going to do it for this week. As always, write in hatepodmail@gmail.com. Twitter is albumhatepod. I'm G Harvey Tweets. Instagram is hatepod. We got Discord servers. We got subreddits. We got all the things. I mean, Google us, for God's sake. You'll find all the stuff we have. Not on Pandora Premium. You can just sidestep that. We're not doing it. But we're pretty much everywhere else.
And
so
to be clear,
enjoy.
they're also not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a mutual thing. They said no.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this week. I've been one of your hosts. I've been Garrett Harvey.
I have been Timothy P. Richardson, and for years, Garrett P. Harvey has referred to handshakes exclusively as handies.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
It got real awkward when you told all of our interns that a good way to tell the character of one of our clients is by the strength and firmness of their handies.
What's wrong with that?
Handies means hand job.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
That's what they thought
I have a
you meant.
lot of calls to make.
Yeah. A lot of apologies for all those people you promised great handies to.
Also, all the people that were totally on board. I thought that I was just being constantly sexually harassed.
Yeah, well, you were, but you were asking for it.
Yeah, but I sort of invited it, I guess. Yeah. Jeez. I wish he'd said something sooner.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.